Hi everybody, welcome. Happy Monday. How is everybody doing? Happy Libra season. Let me get some music put on. I'm gonna put a little bit of soothing YouTube sounds in the background. It's too quiet in here today. Feel free to say hello in the chat.
Welcome to Acre After.
Let us know where you guys are joining from, how your weekend was. Let me get that. Cool. I don't know if you can hear it. I just put on the Calm Whale Equinox 2024 live stream, if you guys want to also listen to the live stream. Calm Whale does it for all like the big events. They do a nice live stream shamanic stuff. Let's see who's here. Deborah says hello. Lisa, hello. Hi, Nancy. Christine, happy Monday. Jackie and friends, happy Libra season with all the fall colors. Hello, April. Hi, Tolkien. Hi, Claudia. Greetings, Jackie. Happy Monday, Becky. Hi, Mimi. Deborah, last week was really stressful, but today seems better. Last week was the last week of Virgo season. Now we're in Libra season. Lucy, hi, all. Hope everyone had a blessed equinox. Yeah, it was great. Deborah, the weekend was fabulous. Awesome. Hello, Lori. I'm just going to dive in today because we have quite a bit to talk about. So this year in March, when the sun entered Aries and the Zodiac year began, I saw 3 themes displayed in the spring equinox chart that I felt would resound for the upcoming Zodiac year, end of March to end of March. So with the sun entering Libra yesterday, September 22nd, we are now officially halfway through the Zodiac year, and I thought it would be fun to review what we talked about in March. And I've had these 3 bullet points at the top of my notes for the last 6 months, and I'm still feeling these themes, and I wonder if it's because I just look at it every day, but I wanted to remind you guys what we talked about in spring. Because when we have these charts for the equinoxes and the solstices, they are like tuning forks. I'm using the words of Pam Gregory. She's the one that started saying that. But it's almost like you strike a tuning fork for the upcoming season. So spring equinox, it's the start of the Zodiac year, so that's going to resound throughout the whole Zodiac year. But then the summer solstice, what the chart looks like at the summer solstice, that's going to give you the flavor for summer. Autumn equinox, the chart of the equinox, that's going to give you the flavor for autumn. And then the winter solstice, same thing, that's going to give you the chart for the winter solstice is going to give you the flavor for winter. So the spring equinox, 6 months ago, we had a lot of fixed energy, heavy fixed fire, fixed air, and fixed earth. And in March, I mentioned that this felt like dedication to what matters. Putting in the extra effort, going the extra mile, sustaining your energy for the things that actually matter to you, leaving less room for the obligatory or the automatic actions in your life. So dedication to what matters. We also had a lot of heavy cardinal fire energy. This is Aries energy. We had the sun, Chiron, and the North Node in Aries at the spring equinox. This to me felt like motivation and ambition to try new things that would sustain us for this Zodiac year. And I mean, like you guys have watched my life. It's aligned with that for sure. And I'm just curious if these past 6 months have been a little heavier for you on the motivation and ambition to try new things than it has been in the past. Have you felt more motivated or ambitious? And lastly, at the spring equinox, we had Venus conjunct Saturn in Pisces. And that kind of told me that this Zodiac year would teach us the value of surrender. The reason why we surrender, the purpose behind it, the point of it. I feel like there was a deep lesson for us this Zodiac year in surrender. So we're halfway through. halfway through those 3 points, those may be some fun topics to take a note of, to spend some time pondering now that we're halfway through. So to recap, we had dedication to what truly matters, motivation and ambition to try new things, finding the value of surrender. Nancy says, definitely. Lisa definitely felt more motivated in some areas, less so in others. Maybe I was meant to let them go. Finding the value of surrender. What have you surrendered? What have you let go of? What have you allowed to come to a close? And how has it benefited you? Deborah, that's awesome. I'm in Switzerland studying French and exploring. That sounds a little bit like motivation and ambition to try new things. That's great, Deborah. That's fantastic. So now, at the Libra Equinox, which happened yesterday, September 22nd, the equinox was exact at, I have it up, 7:44 a.m. Central Time. Good morning, Deborah. Another Deborah. So now at the Libra Equinox, we can use this chart to get a feel for specifically how the autumn season will feel. So for the next 3 months, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius. So Libra is the place in the zodiac wheel when the focus shifts from ourselves in our own environments, the focus shifts into sharing with another. This second half of the zodiac wheel that the sun is about to move through, this has more to teach us through others than through ourselves and our private worlds. In the second half of the zodiac, this is where our life lessons come more from the world out there than in here. At this equinox, we have 6 planets in cardinal signs, spread amongst all the elements, balanced. There's a lot of elemental balance at this equinox, earth, air, fire, and water. Very balanced that way, but we have 6 planets in cardinal, and we have 5 planets in mutable. So we just got one lonely Uranus in Taurus that's in a fixed sign. So this tells me that change is ahead. Oh great, more change. Like I want that, Jackie. More change is ahead. Cardinal signs, we got 6 cardinal placements. They're here to help us take the first step, to initiate, to leap off the edge, just go for it. The mutable energy, we have 5 placements in mutable signs. This energy is here to help us tie up the loose ends, to make sure that we close those chapters before opening the next one. And as I was typing this out, I had an example. So on Saturday this weekend, Matt and I went to go look at a different RV. It's not the one that I've wanted. It's not this RV. This one may or may not have been sold. However, it was a comparable option, a similar style, slightly smaller, slightly older. So long story short, this unit that we looked at on Saturday, total lemon. We both kind of felt this guy using his salesman tactics, trying to embellish the things that are just garbage about it. So on the drive home, Matt and I finally had the conversation. Is this what you want? Nope, not for us. But then, like we got distracted with the night. We went and we grabbed dinner and we fed a raccoon and we looked for gnomes, and that could be a story for another time. But then that was Saturday. Yesterday, Piston, Lisa says hi. I think we should, so then yesterday I hopped on RV Trader to look for new units, and I found a really, really nice one. So here's that cardinal energy in play, right? It's this new beginning. It's a new option. Hi, Piston. So I'm stepping out onto this new path. Okay, next option, right? This one was a lemon, next option. But then I had this feeling of like, oh man, that door's still open. We never we never said no thank you to that other person, the one that we saw in person, in order for this next door to open. So I really, it just came over me that I knew we had to officially say no thank you to close the chapter in order to open the energy for the next RV to come in. So I wish I had more to report. I haven't heard back from this new person whose RV I like. That one's in Tennessee. But this is what I mean about using the mutable and cardinal energies together to make sure that you're making room in your life for the things that you want. You've only got so much room in your energy body. You have to let some things go officially, close the book, close the chapter, cut the cord. You have to let some things go in order to call more in. So that's what this autumn feels like to me. It's a blend of endings and beginnings. Samantha just got up and started looking for a dog. Does that, is that a compliment to my microphone that it sounds so lifelike, like it's in your reality? Hey, Keystone. The only thing this autumn that's in a fixed state is Uranus. Uranus is the planet of shocking change and revelation. Uranus doesn't want to keep anything the same. So there's really nothing staying the same this autumn, which is, to me, it's exciting, right? Because, okay, so this is your weather forecast. Change is upon us. You get to choose if you complain about it or if you prepare yourself for it. Because there's nothing you can do to stop this other than ride the wave to embrace it. So you can take control of the change by allowing yourself to truly let go of whatever is draining you, whatever is holding you back, whatever is keeping you small, caged, trapped, and allow yourself to step into these new and exciting adventures. I mean, newsflash, the only thing holding you back is your own perspective of yourself. The time is now. The skies are supporting this. It's time. It's time. Let go, move on. Let go, move on. I don't know what that means for you specifically, but the energy is super strong. At this Libra equinox, Venus, the ruler of Libra, is in her own sign of Libra. Venus feels very Venusian in Libra. Venus values relations in Libra, how she gets to exchange in partnerships. This could be romantic, business partnerships, friendship partnerships. Venus in Libra seeks harmony and balance. At this equinox, Venus is in two interesting aspects. She's actually receiving a lot of pressure at this equinox, which she is the ruler of. So first we have Venus receiving a square from Pluto. Thanks. Venus is at 29 degrees of Libra, squaring Pluto retrograde at 29 degrees of Capricorn. The last degree of the sign is called the anaretic degree. The 29th degree is called the anaretic degree. It feels like there's just like one final wrap up. It's the culminating message. It's the biggest like hurrah, right? So this in itself just feels kind of big that there's this square. This square asks you, ready for the hard to swallow pill? How have you created your own prison within partnerships? What walls have caused you to create the uncomfortable situation? Sorry, guys. This is Pluto retrograde speaking. Pluto digs. Retrograde sends it inward. Capricorn has to do with limits, chains, boundaries, restrictions. So Pluto retrograde in Capricorn is already asking you to dig into yourself. How have you chained yourself? How have you put restriction on yourself? And then he's squaring, putting uncomfortable pressure onto Venus in Libra. He's asking Venus in Libra, who values relationships so much, what's your role in all of this? What do you believe about yourself that has brought you to these uncomfortable relationships? What do you think about yourself? What do you think about your worthiness? What do you think about your value? How do you perceive your value? I'm going to riff. I don't have notes for this, but I had a thing happen yesterday, and I'm going to try to make it make sense. So yesterday I had an image of myself, right? So here I am, this little like energy body. And in the last relationship that I was in, I felt very like rules, right? Imposing rules. You have to be this way. You have to do it this way. This is how women act. This is what I expect. And I felt this very like boxing in, but then also pressure to be feminine, be a lady. That's what I felt. So I was watching this all happen in my mind's eye. And then I felt this energy body, and it was really cool because like if I can't go this way, if I can't go outward wide and I keep having these chains, of course I would go this way because I have to expand, right? So that's where my growth came from, my spiritual evolution came from. And now that I have gotten out of that chain, I've gotten out of that restrictive energy that I was in, now I have the ability to expand, right? So like, watch out, right? Come for the ride, guys. Watch out. Look at where I'm going to go. So I had that, and I did go into a little bit, like I cried about it, and it was like, okay, yeah, that sucks that I was being imposed on and I was giving all these rules and stuff, but who allowed the rules to be put on me? Not beating myself up, not saying I did anything wrong. I had to go through that to learn what I learned, but I thought my perspective of my worth, my perspective of my value was that, okay, maybe I should follow this rule. Maybe he is right. Maybe this is what I think a woman should be. Maybe this is my job here. So it's not always 100% the other person's fault. Relationships have two sides. So I'm not releasing his fault for the way I felt either. It's both. It's both. So Pluto squaring Venus in Libra at this equinox, for the next 3 months, we're going to be asked to dig into how did I let this happen? That's a really good question. Yeah, and there's going to be more. April, that sounds like toxic masculinity seeking to control the divine feminine. Yeah, there's a difference between a protective structure that allows feminine to flow and oppressive structure that tries to cage. Difference. Lisa, this is happening in my 7th house. What is happening in your 7th house? I've thrown out a lot of degree points at this point. Anything that's happening in your 7th house is going to highlight your one-on-one relationships as well. So that was Venus squaring Pluto. Pluto is pressuring Venus for this upcoming season to ask you what belief do you hold about yourself that has put you in these unfavorable partnerships. Romantic, business, friendships, okay? Maybe just catch yourself when you keep saying that they're the problem, they're the ones that are bad, they're the ones doing all these things. Just check yourself, because it's both. It's not all them. It's not all you either. It's both. It's both you've created. Venus in Libra is in your 7th house, so you find a lot of value in your relationships. They have more weight for you. April, I asked myself that question. Why did I give up my power to allow someone else to determine my worth? Yes, and the energy doesn't have to be the victim. Why did I do that? But it's a more inquisitive. Why did I do that? What caused me to do that? What did I believe then that brought me there? Do I still believe that? Do I still see that about myself? Interesting. Very interesting. All right, Venus is also in another slightly uncomfortable position. This is empowering. It's uncomfortable, but empowering. Venus at this equinox is part of a yod. Y-O-D, yod. This is called a finger of God or a finger of fate. A yod involves 2 planets in harmony, both placing uncomfortable energy onto the apex of the yod. So in this case, Uranus and Neptune are in this ongoing sextile. They've been supporting each other. They're going to continue to support each other. And Venus swoops into place to receive a quincunx from both of these planets at the equinox. And I love this aspect, the quincunx. Just listen to that, how that sounds coming out of my mouth. It's choppy, it's uncomfortable, it's a mouthful, quincunks. This aspect occurs when the planets share no qualities. Venus in Libra, Cardinal, air, masculine. Uranus in Taurus, fixed, earth, feminine. Neptune in Pisces, mutable, water, feminine. Regardless, you don't have to understand all of that. Just know that Venus in Libra, Libra has nothing in common with Taurus, and Libra has nothing in common with Pisces. Regardless, Uranus and Neptune are pairing up. They're combining their messages, suggesting a radical release. A radical release onto Venus in Libra, who values partnership and connection. Radical release, pressure, it's uncomfortable. Venus doesn't want that radical release. Oh, get off of me. Meanwhile, Pluto's over here squaring this apex of the yod, ensuring that Venus stops projecting her problems onto others. This feels like it's really time to take some responsibility for the relationships that aren't serving you, because that is so liberating. It is so freeing. Why? Can you change other people? I don't think we can. We might think we can, but we can't. We can't choose the influence that we have on other people. So we can't really do anything unless the other person wants to be influenced, and we have no control over that. But what we can change is ourselves. We can change what we tolerate. We can change what we agree to. We can change how we act, how we react. We can change how we communicate, how we perceive situations internally, externally. We can change what we expect of ourselves. Venus is really in the spotlight here at this equinox. Ready or not, I feel like she is just she's like in deer in headlights, maybe right now. This is the energy for the whole season of autumn, so here we go. A radical release of how you have created your own limitations in your relationships. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Are you ready for that? I'm so ready for that. A radical release of how I've created my own limitations in relationships? Hell yeah, sign me up. I'm ready. Get off of me. I'm ready. Let it go. Then Venus has already dipped her toe into Scorpio. She moved into Scorpio very shortly after the equinox. So this is the energy that we begin autumn with. Venus in Scorpio is happy to dig. Venus entered Scorpio yesterday, September 22nd, and she will remain in Scorpio until October 17th. Scorpio is depth. Scorpio digs. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. Venus is ready to go there. She's ready to uncover the shadows, to look under the shadows, to get into the shadows. She's ready to look under the rocks, to investigate what's underneath what's been coming up. If this is the argument that we keep having, why? Why is that the argument? What is under there? She's ready to uncover what has been covering up an uncomfortable truth. Venus in Scorpio values depth. She uses emotional depth as a resource. So this seems like the perfect place for Venus to go after receiving all that pressure from the outer planets. It feels good. I hope you guys are feeling good. Michelle, my belle, happy birthday to little Iris. Her 3rd birthday today. Love it, love it. Take that power back. April, we can show others they have the power to change themselves because we show them it's possible. Yeah, it's up to them if they want to change. It's a really difficult realization, let me tell you. When you care so much and you live in the world of potentiality, sometimes, 90% of the time I live in the world of potentiality. Pave the way for those after. Michelle, my bell is ready. She could feel it coming. I've been able to speak my truth more and more this past week. Same. No more letting people push my words down. Unleash, baby. Yeah. So, I guess I could see how maybe you guys aren't excited for autumn. Like, oh man, it's going to be self-work the whole autumn. Doesn't have to be. This can be light and fun, right? It doesn't have to be deep, intentional, meditative work to find these things. It's just having it in the back of your mind while you're moving through life, you know? Just having some awareness. Oh, the conversation went that way? Ooh, I didn't like that. Would past me have liked that? Why would past me have allowed that to happen? Just fun. You get to play, right? The change is coming. It's up to you to choose what you want to let go of and what you want to step into. So, cheers. My moon is also in Scorpio, says Samantha. Does this have an impact on what Venus is doing? So, depending on what degree your moon sits at in your natal chart, at some point, Venus is going to come conjunct to your moon. So Venus is going to pass over where the moon was when you were born. That might be a deep couple of days for you. That might help you value your emotional depth, right? People with moon in Scorpio, you have an emotional need to dig. You have an emotional need to go down there, to bring yourself down there, to bring your relationships down there. Yeah, real powerful moon placement, I believe. So Venus crossing over that is going to help you utilize that resource a little bit more in your life. Nicole's going to have a Venus return. Again, finding that true deep value in what's down there. April, I'm not scared of shadow work anymore. As Carl Jung said, you will make the subconscious conscious and it will drive your life and you will call it fate. October 2nd here, October 2nd, it's a Wednesday, I believe. I'm going to do a cord cutting meditation with you guys. So if you do come across something that you're like, you know what, I am energetically done with this. I am energetically done with this pattern. I am energetically done with this type of relationship, with this relationship. Bring it on October 2nd. We're going to cut it out. We got two different decks to ask two different questions. First, we're going to use a good old-fashioned Ask Your Guides. And we're going to ask advice for autumn with this energy of, we have all this cardinal energy and all this mutable energy. So advice for what to let go and what to welcome in throughout the next 3 months. That's what we're going to use Ask Your Guides for. If this is your first time with me, 30 minutes in, and I'm finally going to introduce myself. My name is Jackie Mancuso. I'm an astrologer. I talk about astrology, and then we pull oracle cards. So I always do group readings. Feel free to send your energy into this deck, asking advice for yourself personally. With all this cardinal and mutable heavy energy for the next 3 months, what am I letting go of and what am I welcoming in? I will allow 3 cards to come out of the deck for us. And the whole reading is for everybody, so there is something for everybody. However, after the 3 cards come out, I'm going to show you the backs of the cards so that you get to give your intuition a little bit of a playground. Sometimes the cards will bring up different feelings in you and you kind of just know, like, oh yeah, that's my card, that's the one. So that card might hold a little bit more weight for you. If you feel absolutely nothing, your intuition's not broken. It just means that the whole reading holds equal importance for you. So we're asking guidance for autumn. What are we letting go? What are we welcoming in? I'll show you the backs of the 3 cards, and then you let us know in the chat which cards are resonating with you. Here is the back of card number 1. The back of card number 2. And the back of card number 3. Those cards were ready. Let us know in the chat which cards are resonating with you. Once more, just in case, we have the back of card number 1, the back of card number 2, and the back of card number 3. I don't know if anyone caught card 2 was reversed. This deck doesn't do reversals. I don't really read reversals with this deck, but I don't know if that means something for anybody out there. Yeah, Lisa too, or Linda too, it was upside down. Okay, Kat 2 and 3, Nicole 2, then 1, Lucy 1 and 2 today, Nancy 2 and 3, Mimi 2, Rebecca 3, Tolkien 1 and 3, Michelle, Mabel all 3 today, April 1 and 3, Roberta 1 and 3, Deborah 2 and 3. Lisa, desperately need a wee. I'll say 3 and I'll be back. You're letting go of something. Kelly 2, Jamie 2 and 3, Jackie 3, Christine all 3. Okay. Guidance this autumn around what we're letting go of and what we're welcoming in. Card number 1. This in the deck is card number 35. The message is shame, and it comes from the Divine Helpers. The keywords for this card are judgment, severity, self-loathing, poverty. You're at risk of falling under the spell of self-criticism because of poor choices or learned behavior, and this is bringing on the energy of shame. You can always tell when this soul-deadening vibration is present because it causes you to unconsciously pull back from others and the loving support of the universe and become isolated. It's quite possible at this time to believe that the world is against you, making you want to hide, withdraw, or push it away. Nothing could be farther from the truth. You are your own worst enemy at this time, as the universe never stops loving or supporting you, nor have the people around you stopped loving you, even if you've made terrible mistakes. After all, we are all guilty of this at times. Your divine healers surround you, holding you in affection and unconditional love as you struggle to regain your self-esteem. They ask you to remember that being here on Earth is like being in a classroom. You're here to progress, and you'll make many mistakes along the way. This is part of your learning process and necessary for your growth. Your divine healers ask you to open your heart and forgive your mistakes. There's no mistake too great, nor any error so grave that it can't be forgiven. Pray for them to help you rise above your self-criticism and re-enter the flow of the universe. Make an effort to see yourself with the same love that they see you with. Stop judging yourself. Make amends and apologies where necessary, and move on. Their message to you: live and learn. Card number 1, letting go of shame, letting go of thinking that there's something wrong with you, letting go of the thought that you think you are inherently bad. Welcoming in the divine love and support that is always around you. This one's hitting for me, and it's interesting. Years ago, one of my therapists offered me a bunch of resources on shame. She gave me an article or a book or something. I think it was a book, and I read the back cover of the book, and I was like, nope, doesn't resonate at all. I don't have this. I don't know what you're talking about. And then looking back on it, I'm like, man, you just weren't ready for it. Of course it didn't resonate. It wasn't ready to be cleared. You had to work with it a little bit. It's interesting. It's not here. It's not mental. It's not conscious where I'm like, oh, I'm shameful of things. But a lot of the things that I was reading in that card, man, maybe there is some shame hiding underneath some stuff. Oh, so maybe Venus and Scorpio wants to help us uncover this shame. The self-criticism part, like, no matter how much you love yourself, do you actually believe that everything that comes to you is a genuine blessing and you get to receive it with open arms? Or do you have some part of you that's like, I wish, no, you shouldn't do that. Oh my God, you're doing this for me? You want to do this for me? I get to receive this? Are there any, you guys have any of those feelings? That could be a sign of shame in there. Shame and guilt are two different things. Guilt is, oops, I made a mistake. Oops, I did something wrong. Shame is, I am wrong. Shame is the deeper feeling of like, I'm the one who's messed up. So this season, how can you get rid of this self-criticism? I have to be perfect. I have to act perfect in order to receive love. How can you let go of that? How can you drop the walls to your heart to start receiving love? Michelle, my bell got goosebumps. Tolkien's spot on. Too much overthinking and being my worst critic. Yeah. Jamie's been trying to open a dispensary in New Jersey for 2.5 years. It's hard. It's taking over. I feel like I'm letting my family down. I feel like I've made a huge mistake. I know I'm so close. I have all my approvals with the state and city stuck in construction permit hell. And it feels like it'll never happen. We are running out of money. Do you feel like you have the world on your shoulders? Do you feel like it's your responsibility? Have you stepped back and opened to look for these little tiny blessings? Just a thought. Just a thought. Michelle, my bell says, shame. This is deep. Shame is a huge thing for me. April, no mistakes, only lessons for growth. Christine, yep, this fits. Struggling with something and realize my past is holding me back from letting go of something. Interesting. Is it a shame thing? Is it shame? Denise, shame. The game we can only win if we stop playing it. Love that. Love that. Michelle Mabel said I should have waited till after this session to put on my eye cream because it's all down my face. Welcome to autumn. It is, Christine. You know, when I was reading that, this is clearly something that I'm working through, and I'm in the process of learning how to get rid of it. You know, I was trying to think about like, what can I offer to all these viewers? How to get rid of your shame, and it's something that I'm still learning clearly. So I don't have anything for you right now. You can do my releasing guilt and regret, but that's about making a mistake. That meditation is about like, oops, I made a mistake. That's guilt. Shame is different. Chiron keeps coming up. Chiron keeps coming up. I was having a moment last night about not being worthy of being loved. Chiron kept coming into mind. I don't know. However, more advice for autumn. What are we letting go of? What are we welcoming in? Card number 2 is card number 20. The message is exhaustion. And this is from our divine helpers. The keywords for this card are overload, mania, workaholism, overdrive. Your divine helpers are here asking you that while it's essential that you do everything in your power to fulfill your goals, it's equally important to know when to back off and allow the universe to work its magic on your behalf. You've done enough. Allow these beautiful and highly competent guides to step in and take over. Your enthusiasm is your gift, but unless it's properly contained, it can undermine your best intentions. Your divine helpers gently remind you that just as plants need water to grow, too much will drown their ability to blossom. The same principle applies to your efforts. Overdoing is fear in disguise. Do not allow it to keep you in the manic mode. Give yourself more breathing space. Trust that your divine helpers are on the job, overseeing your success so you can rest. You need to let go and turn responsibilities over to others. Just because you need rest doesn't mean that they do. Ask your divine helpers for assistance in this. They know better than you what you need right now. Ease up and let them work their miracles. Their message: rest. Wow. 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 What if, right? So we're asking, what are we letting go of? What are we welcoming in? What if, I've been talking about this for quite some time. Masculine is doing output. Feminine is calling in and receiving. So what if you have been doing, trying, because you got to be this perfect person. You got to live up to the expectations that you've placed on yourself, that others have placed on you. You got to live up to these expectations. You don't want to be a piece of shit. So you keep trying and you keep efforting and you keep doing new things and you keep growing and you keep expanding. But what if you let go of that flow and you rest? Man, wouldn't that be magical if everything that you wanted suddenly had space to come in? Crazy concept. Jamie, yeah, I felt like that was for you. 100%. 100%. Everything that I just read about you and then this, like, yeah, slow down. This is also for me. Slow down. April, yep. Kelly, wow, exactly what I needed to hear. Scary. Why is it so scary? Is it because we are shameful? Is it because we are convinced that rest is being lazy? That nothing will get done if you rest? Sometimes you have to put it up to the universe. Test your trust in the universe. I'm not saying to test the universe because it's always going to deliver. That's the universal law, that it is always going to deliver, but you test your own trust. Take an afternoon off and see how bad it really gets. Or have you convinced yourself that it's all going to fall apart if you don't do? Michelle, slowing down isn't something I'm good at. Full throttle and burnout were my thing. Working on resting. Same. This reading's kind of really calling me out, and I'm feeling like I don't have as much advice for you guys as I wish I could. Resting is profitable and productive. That's something that I'm convincing myself of. I am brainwashing myself to believe that resting is profitable and productive. But like, it makes sense, and especially exactly what we were talking about with this whole season. You have to close doors in order to allow new doors to open. So you have to cut off your flow of output if you want anything to come in. So what's the point of exhausting yourself doing, going, achieving, working out? Because you're never going to see the fruits of your labor. You're never going to see the result of everything that you're efforting towards if you don't allow the space for the stuff to come back into you. If we don't rest and recalibrate, April, we won't be able to hold on to what we are manifesting. We'll lose it via self-sabotage if we don't feel worthy to receive. 100. All right, more guidance for autumn. Christine, that's so true. She says, Michelle, resting and slowing down will help you be more present with your sweet Iris and everyone else in your life. Yeah, I want to share real quick. I did a like an inner child meditation once recently, end of June. And I just kind of sat and I waited for stuff to come up. And I went back to a time where I was 5 and I was learning how to tie my shoes, and I peed my pants when I was tying my shoes. And then I was upset that I didn't get the congratulations from my mom for tying my shoes. She then just had to like swoop in and clean up the mess and all this stuff. And I had a really powerful interaction with my mom. And like little Jackie didn't give a shit if dinner was on the table at 6. Little Jackie didn't care if the house was clean. Little Jackie didn't care if she got the groceries purchased on time and all this stuff. Little Jackie just needed mom to be the best version of mom. Little Jackie needed mom to just shine. She needed mom to just be this ball of warm, loving energy. It was very interesting. And it gave me, and I guess I needed to tell the story again, it gave me a little bit more grace to not be that perfect thing for everybody and everything in my life. My impact is much more valuable when my energy is relaxed. Does that resonate? Card number 3. More advice for autumn. What are we letting go? What are we welcoming in? Oh, with the exhaustion, we're letting go of overdoing and we're welcoming in rest. Card number 3. Card number 27. Deceit from our guardian angels. These are all real good cards for this time. The keywords for this card are treachery, dishonesty, betrayal, exploitation. Your guardian angels are present, alerting you to the fact that all isn't as it appears. Something is off, and you may be in danger. Pay close attention to what's going on around you, as well as what's going on within you. You'll soon notice that bad vibes are in the air. They signal that someone is potentially able to exploit or manipulate you in some way. So be on the alert and trust your vibes if things don't feel right. It's hard to believe, you say. That can't be. But your guardian angels remind you that treachery and deceit are subtle and difficult to see. After all, no one wants to believe that someone might hurt them. Sometimes it's a deliberate attempt to injure, but more often it's an act of self-protection at your expense. It may show up in your coworker's failure to inform you that the project deadline has changed, or your mother withholding the fact that your father was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, or even your own neglect to tell your mate that you've overspent this month and can't pay the bills. Deceit and manipulation need not be maliciously intended to occur or to be damaging. Often it's just the result of thoughtlessness or fear. Your guardian angels urge you to trust your vibes completely when it comes to your suspicions of others. Also, equally scrutinize your own deceptions. Either case leads to dead ends and disappointing outcomes. Ask your guardian angels to protect you from deceit of others and your own temptation to deceive. Have the courage and integrity to be honest. Your guardian angel's message: we will watch over you. What are we letting go of? This, to me, feels like giving people the benefit of the doubt too many times. And what are we welcoming in is our own self-value. That's what I got. Because, and that's my perspective, right? I'm not sure if everyone shares the same perspective, but I have been so good at giving people the benefit of the doubt because I understand. Man, I understand where you're coming from. I know you didn't do that on purpose. It's okay. Let me give you another shot. Let me give you another chance. Oops, you treated me like garbage? Oh, because you're insecure about yourself and you're afraid of not having the things that you want in your life. And it just happened to come out at me. It's okay. We'll work through it. We'll do it again. That's what I feel. Because I've always kind of been that way. I know that mistreatment doesn't necessarily mean that they're trying to screw me over, that they're trying to attack me. I've kind of always known that it comes from a place of being afraid in themselves, being insecure in themselves. But how many times are you going to give them the chance to prove you exactly right over and over? This to me feels more like it's time to welcome in your value. I don't deserve this. Oh my God. I told a story the other day about an argument that me and my husband had like 2 months into dating, and it was disgusting. It was disgusting. And then I went through that pattern for 7 years. And it took me 7 years to get to a point where I was like, I don't have to sit through this. I don't have to take this. That's what I'm feeling from this card. So who acts in a way that doesn't feel good to you? It's okay. They're just going through something, right? But like, is it really temporary that they're just going through something? Or has it been 7 years of the same pattern over and over? Just asking. So letting go of letting things slide. Welcoming in your ability to say, this isn't working. This doesn't work for me. I actually, I would like to be treated differently. Maybe not even specifically to that person, but to yourself, to the universe. Actually, I prefer to be treated with kindness and respect. Period. Not only when I have to earn it. April says, sounds like believe people when they tell you who they are, or when you see crazy coming across the street. I mean, you get to decide if you want to engage, you know? You don't have to run away from everyone to protect yourself right away. So, I don't know. Just be aware. Be aware of what you're doing. Is this person deceiving me? Oh, I can see it so clearly. Interesting. Let's do it. Denise says, wow, these cards are spot on for this group and wider collective. We are shifting energetic patterns of lack in favor of making room for abundance, but absolutely having to start at one, our own thoughts, words, deeds, responses. Oof, big work. But look at how much power lies in doing that work. You get to change your whole outcome. You get to change your whole perspective, your whole life, how much abundance you have, how much love you have. Yeah, it's great. Lisa says, I always let things slide or I cut people off. I find it extremely hard to confront people about their actions. That's something that I'm working on a lot. Yeah, that's been me in the past. I let it slide, let it slide, let it slide until I'm like, I can't freaking take this anymore. See ya. I'm never coming back. That's how it's been. Wow, that's how the relationship ended with my father before he died. It was that exact same thing. Let it slide, let it slide, let it slide. Oops, you don't exist to me. Oop, now you're dead? Okay, surprise. Let's heal that one real quick. And it's happening now. I'm finding myself, this is so comfortable. I'm hanging out with this Matt guy. And it's so easy to, this morning I brought something up. I was like, where is this reaction coming from? I've noticed it for the last few days. Is it me or is it you? Because I don't like it. And it was just that. And I did catch myself later in the morning. I was like, oh man, is he mad at me because I brought up that something happened and I didn't like it and all this stuff? And I was in my head, I was like, shut up, Jackie. Shut up. It's okay to speak about, hey, this happened and I didn't like it. I didn't say, oh, you're a piece of shit because you did this. And blah, blah. There's a difference. There's a difference. I statements. I didn't like how that felt. Can we talk about this? Mind-blowing to me how easy this is and how long it's taken me to get to this place. I know I'm not there. I know I'm not at like my perfect state. It's just so awesome. Awesome. Denise, thank you. We have one more card from one more deck. Kat, I've been struggling with letting go of Dad and his wife. They are so mean. Thanks. I'll let go. Bring that energy on the second. We're going to do a cord cutting here. Nina, what if we don't know? If it's temporary or a blank year pattern? Part of me feels like I will see this through no matter what. I hear you, right? If you're in the middle of it, how do you know when it's time? The more you drop into your feminine is cyclic. The feminine knows when it's time to go. It's an intuition. It's a feeling. It's hard to put into words. But I just had that conversation the other day too. I had that thought. How many divorces, breakups do you know of? Think about the ratio. How many is it the woman leaving versus how many is it the man leaving? My perspective, it's most likely the women are done. Feminine, cyclical, chaotic, knowing when things have run their course. Masculine, structure, still wants things to stay the same. It was just an interesting revelation that I had. One more card from one more deck. As Venus enters Scorpio yesterday through October 17th, we're going to use the guides of the hidden realms to ask, what is Venus hoping to find deep in Scorpio? What is Venus hoping to find deep in Scorpio? So, if someone would like to catch up, Fire just joined, asked what we're talking about. I got to move forward with the reading. However, one more card asking, what is Venus hoping to find deep in Scorpio? Feel free to send your energy into this deck. If you guys have been enjoying today's session, if you'd like to offer an energy exchange in the form of a donation, they're always appreciated. I have a specific link in my link tree in the Insight Timer bio if you want to specifically donate to my RV dream. I'm working on living life on the road, and I am so excited to figure out what I learn about myself through travel, through a little bit of solitude and travel, and I can't freaking wait to share whatever comes up. So that's it. If you want to help me do that, I really appreciate it. Anyone who donates at all, I give you guys a book dive. So one of the 2 books that I used for the reading, I dive into it and I give you a couple sentences aligning with your energy. If you guys haven't followed me yet on Insight Timer, feel free to give me a follow and see when I'm coming back. At this time, I'll be back on Wednesday talking about Mercury entering Libra. And if you missed any of the astrology description from the last hour or the first 3 cards, I always post these replays on my YouTube channel. You just search my name on YouTube and rewatch to your heart's content. I'm also starting to be more present on socials, right? Because I have this dream of like being this RV influencer, spiritual nomad lady. So I got to start somewhere. So I'm going to be more present on socials moving forward if you guys are interested. So thank you, Cecilia. I appreciate your donation. So what is Venus hoping to find deep in Scorpio from now until October 17th? Wow, this is card number 9, holding space for love. Man. The key concepts are being present with an open heart, heart-centered, non-judgment, discernment, self-acceptance, listening. You may be having an experience meant to teach you a lesson that you thought you had already learned. It's causing you to feel like you are retracing your steps, but you are truly progressing, moving forward like a dancer on a spiral staircase. Along the way, you learn how to love and accept yourself, and then are better able to hold space for others. Now you're being asked to observe a person or situation with a loving, open heart, releasing the need to judge or fix. It's more important now to understand them than for you to express your perspective. Can you slow down and listen deeply with your heart rather than your head? Drop the lens of the past and see through compassionate eyes. Listen between the lines to what's not being said in words, but what may be expressed in a more subtle way. Allow things to be as they are, and still be willing to move forward to explore and learn, and let curiosity lead the way. You're in a beautiful space right now, so love the imperfections you are gifted with. It will set everyone free. A lot. This is a lot, so I'm just going to start talking. Stillness comes from confidence. The desire to jump in, fix, act, move around comes from insecurity. If you're confident, you're patient. You know that everything's fine, everything's working. If you are insecure, you try to jump in and prove yourself and do things and switch it and make it what you think it needs to be. Holding space for love. Man, I don't even know how to say this. This resonates a lot with the shame card. The shame card was talking about getting rid of shame and welcoming in self-acceptance. This card is very both ways. I felt it very much holding space for love for yourself and holding space for love through another. I started this talk saying that Libra, right now that we're crossing into Libra, the second half of the zodiac, this is the place of the zodiac where we're going to learn our lessons through the other. But then I know that I spent a lot of time focusing in on how have I created my chains? How have I sabotaged my own relationships? So it could be that you witness a pattern out there and then you do the work in here. Holding space has been a concept that keeps coming up, and I think I'm learning the importance of holding space. What does holding space mean? It means witnessing. It means creating a container for something to be in safety, with no judgment, with no expectation. Just holding the space, creating the setting, creating the scene, creating the safety to express. It's like when you try to share something with someone and all you want to do is vent and they try to come in and fix it. That's not holding space. That's the insecure, blah, 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 let me fix it. Let me take care of this. Holding space is someone just listening and nodding their head and maybe putting their hand on your shoulder, maybe running their fingers through your hair. Holding space. So how can you hold space for yourself? Maybe it's not always about running in and doing the shadow work and uncovering everything and just being there. What if all you need is to hold the space for yourself to feel? This feels right to me and I'm having a block, and I think that that means something. That's crazy. I love when that stuff happens. What if all you need to do is hold space for yourself, and that's how you fix your patterns? Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys got? Let's go create this description. And I feel like it is with yourself, and then I feel like if this resonates with you for the other, this card was definitely saying you're being asked to observe a person or situation with an open, loving heart, releasing the need to judge or fix. Can you just hold the space to allow the other person to do what they gotta do? Why do we feel like we have so much power over other people? Why do we feel like we have to read between other people's lines and step in and give them what we think that they need? Roberta and Christine, thank you so much. I appreciate your donations. Nancy says, cards really resonated today. Same. This was a reading for all of autumn, so maybe bookmark this and rewatch it when we start Scorpio season. Maybe rewatch it when we start Sagittarius season, just to see if you're on track with this letting go and calling in. Nina says, you are so much more than an influencer. Just blog on your website where others can find all of your work. You are unique light the way your style. That card hit. Set everyone free. Thank you, Nina. See through the lens of compassion. Holding space, divine blessing. That spoke volumes. Lisa, what you just said is brilliant, as I first thought it seemed to contradict card 3, but holding space for me makes sense. This deceit is someone trying to sabotage you. I mean, sabotage comes from a unconscious place. That's my belief. I believe that people act in ways because that's just what they know. It's just a pattern that they know. They're not trying to get, or it's how they know how to get their needs met. So I think I'm picking up what you're putting down, Lisa, where someone could be deceiving you for your time, for your attention, to get your care because it's what they need. Then don't effort, just be. Don't try to solve their problems, just be a backboard for them to express their feelings. It's something I've been telling you guys, it's something that I'm learning how to do because I have a safe person now who wants to help me process my stuff. It's so interesting. So interesting. Silence comes from confidence. April says, observe, don't absorb. Release the need to fix other people. Yeah, what if you turned that care and concern into yourself? You feel like you're allowed to do that? You feel like you're worthy of that? Denise, huge. This helps us all see a virtual plan to navigate this season of stop, shed, shift. Yes. It is, okay, so I get the energy of autumn. It's a time to drop your leaves, shed the stuff, but this Libra Equinox had so much cardinal energy in it as well. There's more cardinal energy, that's the initiatory. So as you do this, feel free to fill it back up. Go step into what you do want. It's not, I don't want you guys to think that it's just this painful, oh, I gotta let it go. Okay, it's off. All right, now I'm without. You have the energy to move towards what it is that you do want. Alice, my love language is affirmations, but I thought they had to be verbal. This card reminded me that affirmations from others, from the universe, can also be felt. That's great. That's great. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Becky, what if they don't express their feelings? Then it sounds like they don't want to be helped. Nina says, yes, April, no need to fix or say anything, maybe even repeat back to them what they said. That makes me mad. That would make you mad. Yes. Yeah. Yes, yes. Jamie, do you recommend any specific crystals or scents for the season? Whatever resonates. I'm not one of those, I don't follow rules set by other people. If it resonates, it resonates. If it finds you, it finds you. Sure, there's certain benefits to certain things, but I think that stuff is so subjective. Scents, I'm going to go diffuse some eucalyptus and tea tree because my allergies went crazy yesterday and my throat hurts. So that's going to be my fall scent today. Yeah. I don't know. Offhand. Good question. I'm not that person, I guess. Rebecca, the fixer has insecurities, did you say? Yeah. Yeah. Speaking from past experience. And I mean, I'm still there, you know? I'm a coach. I coach people. So yeah, I want to fix people, but now it's a different energy. I wait for people to come to me to ask to be fixed. But yeah, when I was walking around trying to fix the world's problems, when I was trying to prove that I had the solution for everything that's wrong with other people, I knew what was best for other people. I knew what was best for the world. I knew what everyone had to do in order to find peace. That came from a place of me not being secure with me fixing myself, me loving myself, me spending time with myself. I was trying to prove out there, look it, I am good, right? I am cool, right? I am smart, right? Just give it to yourself. Oh my God, and life gets so much easier. You're not meant to solve the world's problems. My perspective, you're not meant to solve the world's problems. You're meant to witness, to hold the space, to then reflect internally and fix yourself. Not fix yourself, love yourself, spend time on yourself, with yourself. April uses crystals, and some I am using for this season include lepidolite for calm and balance. I just sent out some lepidolite with those boxes. Ametrine for my third eye, green aventurine for reinforcement of abundant mindset. Yeah, here's a good reminder. Those spiritual toolboxes that I put together for you guys with all my old crystals and all my books and all my other metaphysical tools that I've used, I have 3 left. So I packed up all my stuff and I'm getting rid of it so I can go live in an RV because I don't need all of my things to go have this traveling experience. So it's in my link tree. I have 3 boxes left. They're packed. They're packed with stuff. So if you want to grab some of my old spiritual tools, check out the link tree. Thank you guys so much for your donations today. Thank you for your support. I hope that this autumn season is just as clearing and empowering for you as I can already feel it's going to be for me. And I love sharing my journey. No shame. No shame, but is there shame? Things can hide. Things can hide. Very interesting. So thank you guys for being here. I'll be back on Wednesday. And on Wednesday, we're going to talk about Mercury entering Libra. So our thoughts might come a little bit more into balance. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Have a lovely rest of your day, lovely rest of your week. If you can't see us on Wednesday, hop on YouTube to watch the replay if you missed any part of this. We started an hour and 12 minutes ago. Sending love to all. Namaste. Enjoy the sense of endings and beginnings in order to bring your life back into balance with the equinox. Just because the equinox was yesterday doesn't mean that you can't feel it still. Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. Happy Monday.